Hey everyone, so today I'm going to do a video on getting an avocado seed to start. It's actually very simple. So there's some extensive videos out there on how to do it. Um, there's the approach where you stick toothpicks in the side of it and stick it in a cup of water and kind of suspend it halfway, out of the water. Um, but there's a much easier way, and actually the toothpick way, it's never really worked for me. So I'm going to take this hand trowel here and I'm going to dig me a hole. Drop the seed in, and that's it. That's how you get an avocado seed to start. Now, there are a couple things, so this is simple, kind of God's design here, but there are a couple things to consider. So I'm in Florida Zone 9B, so I have the climate that will support an avocado tree. I mean, we still get cold snaps and they'll freeze back. So my mitigation for that cold weather is I'm planting it right up against a philodendron hedge. So that's kind of a way to keep it nice and toasty, or provide a windbreak for it when we get into that cold weather. So I do that, and as you saw, I dug a pretty narrow, hole, probably about 6 inches deep, and then I dropped the seed directly into the hole. And the reason I did that, the reason I didn't set the seed, down beside the hole, is because I didn't want the smell of that seed to be anywhere, near the hole. I dropped it straight into the hole, and the reason for that is because the areas where I have failed to get these to work is where possums, raccoons, or armadillos, I don't know which one, but one of them, if it's not deep enough, and maybe the smell of the avocado seed is around the hole, it'll attract them in. They'll dig it up and they'll find it. So that's the biggest risk, is when you're planting directly in the ground, is a critter finding the seed. Now another way to mitigate them smelling it is I'll just take some leaves. I'll just kind of pile it over the hole, and just kind of give it something to obstruct or the smell, just prevent anything from smelling it. And you could even try it in some good potting soil in a pot. Say you're in a northern climate and you want to grow one and maybe bring it inside and out. Now please realize that from seed, avocados are probably not going to be as productive as your cultivated varieties. They will probably take maybe 15 years to produce. I've heard of avocados from seed producing in 5 years, so it is possible. But you're better off with the cultivated varieties, and then and also when you get a cultivated variety, you could get some that are more resilient if you are in a situation where you're subtropical like me, or in Zone 9B. So something that will be more hardy in the colder conditions. Now the benefit though is, so this shoots up, and say I find a buddy who has a cultivated variety, and I can use this and just graft into it. So yeah, I would encourage you, if you have a larger piece of property, or you know somebody that's got some land, and you're in a climate like mine, plant avocados just in different spots. Because my long-term goals, I'd like to stay here permanently in this property, is to get a avocado canopy. So I got an oak canopy. You can see the oak trees up there. One of these days, those oak trees will die out, and to replace that oak canopy, I'd like to have an avocado canopy. So I've been planting avocados around my property, and so I'll show you some of those, and I'll show you some of the things considerations on where to plant them in. So right here I have two avocados that I planted on the south side of this philodendron hedge. And so um, as you can see, they don't look too healthy. So we just went into our rainy season. They look like they're just trying to recover. And the reason why they don't look too healthy is because on the southern side, they're exposed to, during the spring when it's dry and hot and the sun's pretty intense. So I can take you to the other side, so to the north side of this philodendron head. I'm going to show you another avocado that I planted, and it fared much better through that dry part of the year. An avocado is planted about the same time um, on the north side of that hedge, and as you can see, it did much better. It wasn't exposed to all that sun during that hot, excuse me, that the dry part of the year. So it did much better. So these young sap, I guess the point is that these young saplings do not fare too well um, when they're getting too much sun and no water. So I'll show you some more. So I got two avocados over here. So the one there on the left, obviously it's looking really good. And this is a really shady situation here. So you can see the very thick leaves on these flowers. I don't know what they're called, and it's under some understory here. But it seems to be doing just fine. And then there's the one right beside it, maybe not doing so hot. These seeds all come from different varieties. We're just buying avocados from the store when we can get them on sale. And so maybe it has to do with the variety and whatnot. But it seems to be that they really do they don't mind these shady situations, and a young sapling probably just, it's not meant to be out in the full sun. So I'll show you some more. So here are two planted along a fence line. As you can see, the one there on the left, again, I just mentioned, different varieties maybe responding differently to being planted here. It's our rainy season. That one on the left should be doing fine, but the one there on the right is doing pretty good. So hopefully in 20 years, this is right here on the fence line, I'll be able to share some avocados with the neighbor. So over here is the grand finale. So I find this really interesting. The fact that these two here, so you can see the one there on the left, the big one obviously, and then the one there on the right. But the fact that these are doing so well, these are actually the ones that have done grown the quickest and look the healthiest. But yet they're growing. So there on the right is a southern live oak. On the left is southern live oak as well. And then there in the back or in the middle is a wild black cherry. And so it's competing, or you think it's competing with these trees, but what I've seen on YouTube about mycorrhizal fungi, I probably didn't even say it right, but the fungus networks that trees use to share nutrients. So maybe these two are tapped into that and just seem to be thriving in this area. Plus, they're protected through the winters. These trees have always looked good, and so I think they're about 2 years old here. But yeah, my best looking avocados from seed are planted right here, and eventually this will be the new canopy. This, as these other trees age out, or maybe they'll share the canopy. Maybe these live oaks are able to hold on. So, but one other thing, just to finish this up. So you may be wondering, okay, what season do I plant these avocado seeds? So I've planted avocado seeds in just different times of year, and I just remembered, man, they didn't come up, and just totally forgot about them. And then I'd come back maybe in the rainy season, I can't remember when, but I'd come back and then there they were, they popped right out of the ground. So you can plant them and you'll probably may even forget about them, but they'll just shoot up. So like I said, I've had a very high success rate in planting avocado seeds. I've had them pop up pretty quickly, like right away. Again, I haven't wrote down when that happens, but I think it's probably because I planted them during our rainy season. But I hope you enjoyed that, and God bless.